Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As you might be aware, this isn't my usual day. This is Wednesday. I usually do Sundays, but last week Simon didn't end up doing his review on Tuesday because he said he was busy doing nothing. And on Sunday I was busy doing nothing, so I'm doing my review today on Wednesday, which is usually Amy's slot anyway, because I may as well. Better late than never. Thing number two, I've been away for a while. I apologise for that. I broke my jaw in two places, here and here, and it kind of sucks. I couldn't speak for quite a while, but I can talk now, as you are probably aware, and so yeah, I'm back and it's all good. Thing number three, this review is of the Inbetweeners movie, as you can see from the title, and the Inbetweeners movie is of course a British film, so I don't know whereabouts in the world it's also come out. I'm not sure they're going to do it in America or whatever, I really don't know. So this could end up being a primarily English audience review. For those of you who don't know the idea behind the Inbetweeners concept, it's basically the lives of four average British teenagers who live in suburbia. They're not cool kids, they're not the lowest of the low though, they're kind of in between, hence the name. It was originally a TV series that aired on E4, I think, or some shit like that. Basically there's 3 series, each with 6 episodes. It just tells the stories of their day-to-day lives, and it's a comedy. It's 18, it's hilariously funny, and I think it's awesome. But this year they released a film, the Inbetweeners movie, which is the finale to the whole events as they all go their separate ways after finishing school. The movie has been highly anticipated for ages. It was released on the 17th of August 2011 here in the UK, and it had a 3.5 million quid budget, pound, Great British pound. The currency over here, for those of you who don't know, in American dollars, that's around 5 million American dollars. And its opening weekend it grossed, which means it made £13.2 million, so it's already covered its budget and it's still going up. That's just the weekend, you know, that's 2 days, so it's raking in a lot of cash. It consists of the usual main cast members. Simon Bird plays Will, the main guy narrator. James Buckley, he plays Jay. Blake Harrison plays Neil, and Joe Thomas plays Simon. And it also features many of the characters who are in the original TV show, whose names I won't list because it's quite extensive. You see most of the characters that you see in the TV show anyway. The main plot of the film is that when the 4 guys finish sixth form, so they're all about 18, they go on a lad's holiday to Malia. So they all go to Malia expecting to get a lot of clunge, which is a term that the show coined, and it means vagina. So there you go, or whatever word is your preference. And they're all like, oh, they're going to have a great time and go out clubbing and we'll get loads of girls and all this stuff. They get to the resort, it's a disappointment, and the rest of the film kind of spirals around like that, loads of ups and downs, you know, like getting drunk. It's just a classic lads holiday film. It could be comparable to Kevin and Perry Go Large, I think, but I haven't seen that film in ages, so can't remember, but it's a similar kind of thing. That's pretty much it without giving too much of the storyline away. It's got generally high reviews. This is where I have a bit of an issue because the reviews are usually good. On IMDb it's got an 8.2 out of 10, and on Wikipedia it's generally positive from Metacritic and Rotten Tomatoes and that kind of thing. So it's highly reviewed overall, but personally, as someone who really loved the seasons, I was kind of disappointed. I'd known that they were going to make the film for ages, I'd been on it, any bit of information that came out I was reading about, and I was really looking forward to it. And I was going to go and see it relatively close to when it came out, but because of my jaw I was in hospital, so I couldn't go. So I only ended up actually seeing it last weekend, and that meant that I'd on Facebook seen loads of people saying, oh, Inbetweeners was so good, and I was like, wow, it's going to be awesome, it's going to be a really good end to the whole idea, and it's just going to be really awesome. And I watched it and I felt it kind of went downhill from the beginning. It was good and it had good points in it, but overall it just went downhill, and it just kind of lacked a lot of the elements that made the TV show so awesome. They had so much potential and I had so many thoughts about what would be awesome for it, and it just kind of disappointed. It's a gut feeling. I don't want to hate it, I want to love it, but as a gut feeling when I watched it I was just disappointed. I think it's fairly cliche, and it tries to break up the cliche in really predictable ways. In the original series you can, I don't know, I laugh every 30 seconds, it's hilarious, it's really funny. And I thought that as a film it would just have loads more laughs, it was just going to be kind of an extended episode. But it's almost like they've just stretched an episode out longer, because there's loads of points in the film where you just haven't laughed for 5 minutes, and then they build up to a laugh, but it's a bit it's really half-hearted. Overall, I think it was just a bit too romantic. The whole point of the Inbetweeners is that they're pretty unlucky and they don't really necessarily get the girls and they fuck up a lot. What's good about Inbetweeners is that it's really realistic, and it doesn't just do what you'd expect like films to do, it does what you'd expect life to do. If you watch it and you know what the series is going to be like, you'll see what I mean by it being like a really out of place ending. I also thought that they kind of messed about with a lot of the characters. There's a character in the original series called Carly, who is Simon, who's Joe Thomas's character's kind of, he loves her, he absolutely adores her, but she doesn't really pay her any attention. And in this film, she actually turns out that she's on holiday at the same time as them, and they all kind of like see her, but she's being like real bitchy to Simon, and it's just really out of place, and her character's actually really evil in the film. I thought like 3 series, and she is just a nice girl, she just didn't like him. And in the film, she was a right bitch, so it just disappointed me. I can't really explain it. It was directed by Ben Palmer, and he actually directed the 2nd season of the show, so I don't understand how the film wasn't as good as the 2nd series, which he also directed. And it had the same writers, which is Ian Morris and Damon Beasley. Again, don't know how it didn't end up like as good as the series, but it just didn't. Same cast as well, so it was really good as maybe like a rom-com, like your classic teenage holiday film. It was good as that, it was like a 7 or 8 out of 10, but as something standing up with the rest of like the Inbetweeners shows and things, I just thought it was about 4 out of 10. It really disappointed me. You may think differently, you may agree with me, you may not know what the hell I'm talking about because it might not have been released in your area. Either way, if you're interested in how it sounded, you could probably download it, completely legally of course. Check it out if you might like it. The series is well good though. So anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I guess I will see you on Sunday.